You just bought a brand new Windows 11 PC, and right now, without you realizing it, your data might already be at risk. Yeah, I know that sounds extreme, but here's the truth nobody tells you. A fresh Windows install is not fully secure by default. And if you skip these next few settings, one mistake, one stolen laptop, or even one malicious file, and everything on your system could be gone or worse, exposed. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 powerful security steps you should enable immediately on any new Windows 11 PC. And trust me, number 4 and number 5 are the ones most people completely ignore, but they're the difference between losing everything and staying protected. Let's get into it. Now the first thing you need to turn on, and this is non-negotiable, is BitLocker. Because right now, if someone steals your laptop, they don't need your password to access your data. Let that sink in. Without encryption, your entire drive can be accessed just by plugging it into another system. Photos, documents, saved passwords, everything. And that's exactly where BitLocker comes in. BitLocker encrypts your entire drive, meaning even if someone physically steals your device, they cannot read a single file without your recovery key. Now here's where most people make a mistake. They either don't turn it on, or they save the recovery key in the wrong place. And I'll show you why that's dangerous in a second. When you enable BitLocker, Windows gives you a 48-digit recovery key. This key is literally the only way to unlock your data if something goes wrong. So you need to store it smartly. You can save it to your Microsoft account, which honestly is the safest and easiest option. Or you can store it on an external encrypted USB drive. But whatever you do, don't just leave it on your PC. Because if your system gets compromised, that key goes with it. Now once BitLocker is enabled, you'll get 2 options, encrypt use space only, or encrypt the entire drive. If your PC is new, go with use space, it's faster. But if you've already been using your system, go with full encryption. Yes, it takes longer, but it closes every possible gap. And here's the twist most people don't realize. Even with encryption on, your data is still not fully safe from modern attacks. Because attackers today don't always steal your device. Sometimes, they lock you out of it. Which brings us to step number 2, ransomware protection. Now ransomware is one of the fastest growing cyber threats right now. It doesn't steal your data, it encrypts it, and demands money to give it back. And if you don't have protection enabled, you're basically one click away from losing everything. Inside Windows Security, there's a feature called Controlled Folder Access. Most people never turn this on. But once enabled, it blocks unauthorized apps from modifying your important files. So even if malware somehow gets into your system, it won't be able to touch your documents, photos, or videos. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Windows also allows you to back up your data to the cloud automatically. So even if ransomware locks your system, your files are still safe and recoverable. And yeah, I get it. Some people don't like cloud services. But ask yourself this. Would you rather trust a backup system or risk losing years of data in seconds? Now moving forward, let's talk about something that most gamers and power users actually disable. And that's a big mistake. Step number 3 is core isolation and memory integrity. Now I know what you're thinking. This slows down performance. And yes, on older systems it can. But on modern PCs, the difference is barely noticeable. What it actually does is protect the core of your operating system from being attacked. Think of it like a security guard standing at the brain of your PC. If malware tries to inject itself into critical processes, this feature shuts it down immediately. Without it, your system is much easier to exploit. And here's something most people don't know. A lot of advanced malware today specifically targets systems where this is turned off. So by disabling it, you're literally making yourself a target. Now step number 4. This is where things get serious. Because this is not just about protecting your files. This is about controlling who can even access your device. I'm talking about Windows Hello. Passwords are outdated. And honestly, they're one of the weakest points in your security. They can be guessed, cracked, or bypassed using recovery tools. But biometric authentication? That's a different game. With Windows Hello, you can use facial recognition or fingerprint unlock. And once this is set up, even if someone tries advanced tricks to bypass login, they won't get through. Now here's the part most people ignore. You should actually disable password-only sign-in, because as long as password login is active, there's always a fallback method attackers can try. But if you rely on biometric plus PIN security, you're significantly harder to break into. And if your laptop supports it, enable enhanced facial recognition. It makes spoofing almost impossible. Now imagine this scenario. You're working in a cafe, you step away for just a minute, and someone tries to access your system. That's where dynamic lock comes in. This feature automatically locks your PC when you move away. No manual action needed. It's a small setting, but it can prevent huge problems. Now finally, step number 5. And this is the one that can literally save your laptop. Find my device. Now most people think this is just for phones, but it's actually built into Windows 11. If your laptop gets stolen, you can track its location, see where it was last active, and even lock it remotely. And once locked, nobody can access it. Now let's talk about how you can actually turn on Find My Device on your Windows 11 PC, because this is one of those features that can literally save your laptop if it ever gets lost or stolen. First, you need to make sure you are signed in with a Microsoft account, because this feature won't work with a local account. Once you're signed in, go to your Start menu, open Settings, and then navigate to Privacy and Security. Inside that section, you'll find an option called Find My Device. Click on it, and you'll see a toggle that is usually turned off by default. Simply switch it on, and Windows will start tracking your device location using your internet connection. Now behind the scenes, your laptop will periodically send its location data to your Microsoft account, which means if your device ever goes missing, you can log in from another device, go to the Microsoft Find My Device page, and see exactly where your laptop was last detected on a map. But it doesn't stop there, and this is where it gets really powerful. If you notice that your device is in the wrong hands, you also get the option to remotely lock it. The moment you trigger that lock, Windows signs out all active users, disables access, and prevents anyone from logging back in without your credentials. This means even if someone tries to use advanced tricks or bypass methods, they're basically locked out of the system. And when you combine this with BitLocker encryption, your data becomes completely unreadable, so even if the thief wipes the device, they still cannot access your personal files. That's the real goal here, not just recovering the device, but making sure your data stays protected no matter what happens. And once you enable this feature, you've basically added another powerful layer of security that most people completely ignore, but in a real-world situation, it can make all the difference. So the real question is, will your system be ready? Or will you realize too late what you should have turned on? Let me know in the comments which of these settings were already enabled on your PC, and which ones you're going to turn on right now. And I'll see you in the next one.